Hello, my name is Gary, and I was raised in the western United States, so I'm a native English speaker. I hope that you will enjoy this YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us.
IELTS writing samples. The graph gives information about the consumption of fast food in grams per week in the UK from 1970 to 1990. The line graph illustrates the weekly consumption patterns of three distinct varieties of fast food in the UK spanning the period from 1970 to 1990. It is evident from the graph that the weekly consumption of fish and chips underwent the most significant fluctuation during the research period. Moreover, while both hamburger and fish and chips experienced notable increases in consumption, there was a slight decrease in the amount of pizza consumed. In 1970, pizza consumption peaked at over 300 grams, surpassing hamburger consumption, which stood at approximately 30 grams. Meanwhile, fish and chips consumption hovered around 80 grams. By 1985, pizza consumption slightly declined to its lowest point of 200 grams, while hamburger and fish and chips consumption showed gradual increases. In 1990, fish and chips weekly consumption surged dramatically to 500 grams, becoming the highest figure in the line graph, while hamburger consumption experienced a slight increase to around 300 grams. In contrast, the amount of pizza consumed remained stable at approximately 200 grams.
The line graph depicts the weekly consumption trends of three distinct types of fast food in the UK from 1970 to 1990. It is evident from the graph that the weekly consumption of fish and chips underwent the most significant changes during the research period. Additionally, while the quantities of hamburger and fish and chips consumed notably increased, there was a slight decrease in the amount of pizza consumed per week. In 1970, pizza consumption was at its highest, exceeding 300 grams, while hamburger consumption was significantly lower, at around 30 grams. Meanwhile, approximately 80 grams of fish and chips were consumed by people in the UK. By 1985, pizza consumption slightly decreased to its lowest point of 200 grams, while the figure for hamburger and fish and chips steadily rose. In 1990, there was a remarkable increase in the weekly consumption of fish and chips, soaring to 500 grams, surpassing all other figures in the line graph. Conversely, hamburger consumption experienced a modest rise, reaching approximately 300 grams. Meanwhile, pizza consumption remained steady at around 200 grams.
The chart below shows the percentage of adults of different ages in the UK who used the internet every day from 2003 to 2006. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. The chart illustrates the proportion of daily adult internet users across different age brackets in the UK from 2003 to 2006. Overall, it is evident that the younger participants tended to use the internet more frequently. Additionally, there was a noticeable upward trend in the number of individuals who enjoyed using the Internet over the studied period. Initially, participants aged 16 through 24 were the most active Internet users, consistently exceeding 80% throughout the 4-year period, even reaching 100% in 2005. However, the percentage for this age group experienced a slight decline to 90% in the following year. The second and third most frequent Internet users were citizens aged 25 through 44 and 45 through 54, respectively, with relatively similar rates. These rates increased steadily from approximately 50% and 60%, respectively, to 80% by the end of 2006. Interestingly, the figure for the 45 through 54 age group was slightly higher in the first 2 years, with a 10% difference compared to the 25 through 44 age group in both years. The data for the other age groups showed notably lower levels of Internet usage. In 2006, only about half of the individuals aged 55 through 64 were interested in using the Internet daily. However, this figure was lower in previous years, amounting to around a third of their population. The least active Internet users were those in the 65-plus age group, experiencing a moderate increase from 18% to 20% between 2003 and 2006. Notably, in 2003, individuals aged 65 and above did not use the Internet.
The chart displays the distribution of daily adult Internet users across various age groups in the UK between 2003 and 2006. Overall, it is evident that younger participants demonstrated greater Internet usage. Furthermore, there was a noticeable increase in the number of individuals who enjoyed using the Internet throughout the study period. Initially, participants aged 16 to 24 were the most active Internet users, maintaining a consistent usage rate of 80% or higher throughout the 4-year period. Their usage even peaked at 100% in 2005, but experienced a slight decline to 90% in the subsequent year. The second and third most enthusiastic Internet users were individuals aged 25 to 44 and 45 to 54, respectively, exhibiting relatively similar rates. These rates steadily climbed from around 50% and 60%, respectively, to 80% by the conclusion of 2006. Notably, the 45 to 54 age group had a slightly higher figure in the initial 2 years, with a 10% difference compared to the 25 to 44 age group in both years. The statistics of the remaining age groups revealed significantly lower levels of Internet usage. In 2006, only about half of individuals aged 55 to 64 were interested in using the Internet daily. However, this percentage was lower in previous years, accounting for around a third of their population. The least engaged Internet users were those in the 65-plus age group, with a moderate increase from 18% to 20% between 2003 and 2006. Notably, individuals aged 65 and above did not use the Internet in 2003.